The evolution of banking, from bartering to civilization builders. Imagine this. You've harvested a surplus of barley, but the goat seller doesn't need barley. How are you supposed to get that goat? This was the messy, chaotic reality of bartering before banking existed. The solution? Banking, but not the banks we know today. Think temples, grain storage, and priests moonlighting as accountants. In this video, we're diving into how the first banks didn't just fix bartering chaos, but became the foundation for trade, wealth, and global civilization. And stick around. We'll also explore what happened to civilizations that didn't have banks. Trust me, it's a story you don't want to miss. Let's start in ancient Mesopotamia, around 3000 BCE. Picture towering temples surrounded by bustling markets, where farmers haul sacks of barley to priests. These temples weren't just places of worship. They were the world's first banks. Temples stored surplus grain, silver, and other valuables. But here's the twist. They also issued loans. Yes, loans, in barley. And it wasn't a freebie. Priests charged interest, up to 33%. One of the earliest recorded loans, inscribed on a clay tablet, spelled out repayment terms. That's right, contracts were already a thing 4,000 years ago. Meanwhile, in ancient Egypt, banking evolved further. Temples like Karnak managed not just wealth, but entire agricultural surpluses. Priests issued receipts for stored grain, basically an early form of currency. These receipts could be traded, meaning farmers didn't have to lug around sacks of grain to make deals. Fun fact, these proto-banknotes became lifesavers during famines, allowing families to access stored reserves when crops failed. And then there were the Greeks. They took banking into the marketplace, literally. Moneylenders operated in busy agoras, lending coins to merchants and facilitating long-distance trade. They even created promissory notes, ancestors of modern checks, making it easier for traders to pay without carrying loads of coins. Without Greek banking, their vast trade networks, olive oil from Athens, wine from Crete, pottery from Corinth, wouldn't have thrived. If you're finding this fascinating, hit subscribe. Ancient innovations like this shaped our modern world, and there's more where this came from. Now let's step into Rome, where banking leveled up. Roman argentari, essentially professional bankers, set up shop in the bustling forums. They offered loans, managed currency exchanges, and even provided financial advice. One banker, Lucius Caecilius Jucundus, kept meticulous records of his transactions, giving us incredible insight into the Roman financial world. But Roman banking wasn't just about personal wealth, it was about empire building. Roman banks financed massive infrastructure projects like roads and aqueducts, and even military campaigns. Banking wasn't just fueling trade, it was shaping the future of the empire itself. But what about civilizations that didn't have banks? Did they thrive or fall behind? Let's take a closer look. Some civilizations relied entirely on barter or informal trade. Take the Maya and Aztec in Mesoamerica. They used cacao beans and textiles as currency, but lacked formal banking systems. Without banks to store wealth or issue credit, trade remained mostly localized. Now compare that to Mesopotamia, where temples acted as financial hubs. Mesopotamians not only thrived domestically, but also established long-distance trade networks that spanned thousands of miles. Banking societies could invest in infrastructure, build cities, and support larger populations. The result? Civilizations with banks were better equipped to grow, innovate, and adapt. In short, banks didn't just make life easier, they transformed societies. Banking wasn't just an economic tool, it shaped culture. Greek temples, often adorned with records of wealth, became symbols of prosperity. In Rome, public projects like the Colosseum were funded by banking wealth. Banking also fueled globalization, enabling trade routes like the Silk Road to connect distant civilizations. And yes, banking sparked its share of controversy. The ethics of interest, was it exploitation or economic necessity, was hotly debated even back then. Fast forward to today and the systems started by Mesopotamian temples are still with us. From coins to credit cards, banking has evolved, but the principles remain the same: trust, risk, and innovation. That clay tablet from Mesopotamia? It's the ancestor of your modern banking app. Banking isn't just about numbers, it's about building the world we live in. So, what's the big takeaway? The first banks didn't just solve bartering chaos. They built civilizations, enabled empires, and connected the world in ways we still benefit from today. Next time you check your bank balance or swipe your card, remember, you're part of a 4,000-year-old legacy. If this video made you see history differently, hit subscribe and join us for more stories that connect our past to our present.